So this was at the rim 2-3 hours ago, and one pump was keeping up. The impeller on this pump, which I'm going to replace now, I think it was cavitating or something. It wasn't pumping. So I'm going to change the check valve on it and this pump. I'm hoping to reuse this PVC pipe, so it should be a quick change on it. Again, this is give you an idea of the volume of water. So that's what the two sump pumps look like, and the sump basin. And this is the pump that is not pumping. And I've disconnected it. From the check valve. I'm going to replace the check valve and replace the pump. I'm hoping to use this entire pipe assembly. Excuse the noise, but this is what I'm faced with. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I have wire ties, zip ties, holding the plug line. And I'm going to unsnip those, being careful. Hopefully this is in camera shot. Being careful that they don't drop in the sump pump crock. And I'm actually going to put these in my tool bag so they don't end up in there. And then I'm going to remove, there's wire that holds, oh, here's a piece of tape I got to remove. Make sure I'm recording. You know what? I should be able to lift this right out. I don't want to pull that alarm wire. Let's see if I can lift it right out. And here's the alarm that went off. When that rotates, it goes off. Now let's get a measurement. It's roughly 17 inches from the sump, from the base of the sump pump. So let's snip that off. And the alarm's probably going to go on and off a couple times. Let's pull the tape off. Oh, the alarm just went off. And again, I put all the garbage back in my tool bag. And kudos at this sump pump. One Liberty half horsepower sump pump kept up with all that volume of water. Try to give you a look. By the way, I don't think it is a check valve. Okay, so we're down here, and the pumps are identical. So this just should be a simple, hopefully removing this pipe and refastening it, or screwing it into this pump, and then routing the wire, power wire. Okay, so you can see that they're identical. And it looks like it was screwed in roughly 15 millimeters from the base. Oh, and this isn't big enough. Hopefully this crescent wrench wasn't big enough. Okay. Look at that. How do we like that, guys? Maybe I'm not going to change that check valve. And it's just under 15 millimeters. Maybe I'll unscrew it a half turn. Not tape. Let's zip tie the alarm wire to it. I am going to drill that 1/8 inch hole So the 1/8 inch hole is in to keep it from hydrolocking. And we're going to hear that gurgle when the pump stops. And then I want to mount that alarm. You can see this. 17 inches above the base. My wife's probably going to get sick of hearing that alarm go off, but it is what it is. And I'm going to mount the alarm so it doesn't, the water doesn't hit the float. So that's mounted with a zip tie. Hopefully you're catching all this. We'll snip that. And I'm going to mount the cord with a zip tie, at least up to here, so I'm out of the water when I do this. And let's pull the alarm wire up. We'll do these both together with a zip tie. Hopefully you can see this. We'll peek up. Hope you're catching this. And we're going to sunk this down in the crock. And again, in this orientation, I have to make sure to keep it away from the wall of the crock so it doesn't bind, the float doesn't hit the wall of the crock. And I did this wrong. I'm going to rotate this back. I had it in the wrong orientation. I'm going to scoot these around. Okay, Marauders, you ready? Moment of truth. I'm going to unplug the main pump that's been running. It's been saving the house. And we're going to plug in the new pump. It's the test. And she's running. One more cycle. And I'll tidy up these wires. She's going to kick on again. You hear that relief drill the hole I drilled so it doesn't hydrolock. Now let's give you a look when both pumps are plugged in. They're the same level. I don't know which one's going to kick on. The new one kicks on first. One more cycle. Okay. My wife's going to tell me I procrastinated changing this pump, but she's right. So, 2 new pumps. These 2 check valves, I believe, I got to go back and watch the video. I think I replaced both of these when I put in this new pump on this side. I'll neaten up the wires off camera and then show you the finished product. So, Marauders, this is the final project, or this is a completed project. Maybe not the neatest of routing of wires. You can see they're zip tied. The float is on the back side between this pipe and the sump wall. So give you a shot down there. So the water coming out of the drain tile doesn't keep the float from raising. There's a cricket. If the water goes over the edge of the rim, that will go off. Here's the wires routed up and in 2 different circuits, all of which is tied to my generator. I think those are 20 amp circuits tied back to the generator. Each one has their own circuit. And I have 2 sump pumps back online. I will buy a third, sorry about the shadow. I will buy a third Liberty pump. I always want to have a new one on the shelves, and I have 2 check valves on the shelves. So I'll probably procrastinated doing this. My wife will have to remind me. But I'll buy a brand new Liberty pump, the same model. You can see when you have the same, I had a Liberty and a Zoller, and now I'm just buying Liberties, not because one's better than the other, but it's so much easier to swap out a pump when one goes bad. That's it, Marauders. Thank you for coming back to the channel. A lot of flooding in Western New York. and this Friday in January. So I wish all of you, I hope you can handle it. Take care. Please subscribe to the channel, share the video, and like the video. I hope this helps you. And I love the components. You can't beat that check valve. But it's very easy to change the check valve. And by the way, it also was easy to pull the sump out. I really like that system. That's it. Thank you. Hope to see you on the trail. She's running. She's moving water.